Coach Swinney was telling us that after your one not good snap that he couldn't find you. He thought that maybe you thought you would have gotten fired from the job. Like, what was happening after that bad snap?
Yeah, so obviously it happened. I didn't, I figured that we might get another opportunity to go out there. So I was warming up. I was doing what I normally do. Process doesn't change, good or bad. You just keep moving forward and do what it takes to do well. And so I was warming up in the back, and I try to get away from everybody. It's kind of hard on a cramped sideline to snap a ball 15 yards because everybody just loves to seem to be standing in the way. But yeah, that's what I was doing. I was warming up, and then I guess there was a miscommunication with the coaches, but anyway, someone told me that, yeah, like, you're benched, and I was kind of like, what? This is how it ends? And so when Coach Swinney, they were calling for Coach Swinney was calling for me, and Coach Swinney said something on the sideline. Everybody's trying to make sure that gets around. So I got called up to him. They found me after that timeout, and I kind of thought there, I was based off of what I was hearing with the rumbles. I was like, all right, I guess this is like, I don't know, I guess I'm getting fired. And he turned around and gave me a great pep talk, great belief thing that I was very excited about, because I was like, thank God I didn't get fired here. And so, yeah, that's kind of what happened, and I never lost confidence in myself through the whole process. I was ready to go do it again. I was excited about doing it again, but I don't know, I guess with miscommunication, they thought that Swinney wanted me out, but he made it very clear that was not the case, so it's a relief.
Was it other staff members that told you that, or players? Like, it was a whisper down the lane? Like,
yeah, it was kind of, I guess it was other staff members. There was a miscommunication, and they were like, yeah, I think Holden's going in. And I was kind of like, shocked at the start of it, because I thought, how long I've been here, I've expected to, you make a mistake, you get up and you react to it, and you get better from it. And so I wasn't surprised when Coach Swinney kind of gave that little pep talk to me, and he basically said, like, hey, nobody else I want on that field except for you. And so, yeah, it was I don't know, it was miscommunication. I was just as confused as everybody else, and then he made it very clear on what he wanted. So,
what went wrong on that snap? Obviously, knowing that you've done a million good ones, but that one specifically,
it's just a fluke play. It's kind of like whiffing on a golf shot somehow. You do everything right. You do the same process. There's no nerves. Done it over 300 times. Just lined up, did the normal process I did, and it just, released it too early than I normally do. And, that's what happens. And it's part of the job. For the past 5 years, Coach Swinney always says, if you have that ball in your hand in a game, you're holding the program in your hands. And I've always taken that to heart. And I've known for the past 5 years that every time I step on that field, there's a possibility, there's a % chance that I could mess up like that, and that, the whole world could hate me based off one mistake. And it never once made me hesitate to walk on that field, because the only thing that I can get if I don't walk on the field is I know I won't fail. But I don't believe in that. And I might have messed up in that game, but I have the same amount, if not more, confidence in myself to do the job. And obviously Coach Swinney does. And, I'm never going to be afraid to fail out there, because it's what I signed up for. And I love doing it, and I'm going to continue to do it for as long as I can. And, I'm excited about getting two more games opportunities. Hopefully we won't have too many opportunities to punt this week. So.
Would you make the decision that lacrosse was not going to be your future, and you wanted to try this long snapping thing?
It's happened in high school. It happened the first day of my senior practice. My senior year, first day of practice, they were like, we need a long snapper. I wanted to get out of practice a little bit and kind of hang out, and it was going to be me and my quarterback, because he was like the holder / punter. So I was like, all right, we can just do this for 10 minutes, and I don't have to go run. So I was like, I'll do that for a little bit. And it wasn't until a coach named Mike Solwald came up to me and said, hey, you're pretty good at this long snapping thing. I was like, thanks. He's like, you should play in college. I was like, I don't know about that. I don't know who's a long snapper in college. Like, come on now. I'm better than that. Here we are. But he said, listen, I played 6 years in the NFL and I won a Super Bowl being a long snapper, and you're better than I was. So after I heard that, I was like, yeah, you sold me. Let's see what we can do here. And he said, any school you can go to, you'll be able to walk on and play there, no matter how big. And so once he said that and I kind of saw the vision for it, he sold me right there. I was like, all right, I think I can go after this because, I didn't really realize what college football was when I was in Maryland because the best we had were the Maryland Terrapins, and to be honest, during my childhood, they weren't exactly the most premier program. When you go to a game, the stands weren't filled, pretty empty. And the big sport was lacrosse. It was cool to play lacrosse. It was the end-all, be-all to go and play college lacrosse. If a guy got to play college lacrosse, he was the man. They committed in 8th grade. And so when I learned about college football, kind of how important it was, and I came down here and I realized that I can either go play some small D1 lacrosse with my mom and dad to support me every weekend, or I can go out there in front of 80,000 on national television and see what happens. And so it's kind of a pretty easy decision to risk it all and try to go do this.
So you and your dad made the trip. Like you visited several schools. And how did you wind up coming back through Clemson? How did that happen? And you wind up, I think, at Loose Change. Was that it?
Yes. Well, yeah. So I think I was at South Carolina visiting, just doing the normal school thing because obviously it wasn't for sports. And he was like, hey, we're not too far from Clemson. You want to go visit again? I was like, yeah, let's go one more time around the block. Like, how far is it? He was like, 2 hours, easy. I think we were going to Tennessee afterwards, so I think it kind of worked out. So that's what we did. We just drove back to Clemson. The first time I came, I had a whole tour and did the whole academic business building, engineering building, saw it all, saw what the school was about. But the second time, we just drove in. Wanted to see it all one more time, own eyes, and I think that's when we kind of figured out there was a lake. I don't know, on the tour, they don't show you the lake. I feel like we should fix that a little bit because the lake's a pretty good selling point, you know what I mean? They show me the football stadium, but I was like, you're telling me there's a lake here? Like, I had no idea. So on the second time, we just drove around. We drove up through Y Beach, actually, which was where I was like, there's a lake here, dude. And then I think we went to Loose Change, ate a Loose Change, went around downtown, saw how cool it was, and I just felt the energy of the place. It was a random spring, and people just looked happy here. And it always just kind of stuck in my brain and my heart that, like, this was an amazing place, and I just felt pulled to it. Couldn't explain why. I visited every Southern school, and Clemson was just something about it.
So you come here. How did President Clements play a part in you getting on the football team?
Yeah, I met a guy named Rudy Russo. I was working at a restaurant, and I was a server, and my high school does an alumni event there, so I was serving for it. So I started talking to guys, telling them I was, alumni, and he walked up to me and was like, hey, you go to Clemson? I was like, yeah. So it was my freshman year going to my sophomore year. Or, no, I was going into my freshman year, actually. I don't know, one of the two. Anyways, I started telling him about, I played high school sports, go to Clemson. He's like, what'd you play? I was like, I was a linebacker, played some guard, tight end. Like, I did kind of everything. And then I also was a long snapper just for the team. And I don't know, like, what brought him to say this. He's like, hey, you were a long snapper? I was like, yeah. Just threw off the gloves, Just threw it back there as hard as I could and see what happened. He's like, why don't you just do that at Clemson? And I was I didn't want to tell a lot. You don't tell people you're trying to walk on at Clemson. Like, I feel like a weirdo if you're the one like, hey, by the way, I'm going to walk on to, like, the most premier program in college football. And then I just was honest with them. Like, to be honest with you, I am trying. I've been working at it for the past year or two, and I'm not getting much budge right now because they locked this place up like Fort Knox. They don't want anybody to join, it seems like. And so he's like, hey, I know President Clements because Clements was the president of Towson, I believe. And so there's a lot of connections with Clements up there because that's where he grew up. And he said, listen, I know Clements. I can write a letter to him, kind of explaining your story. And so they wrote the letter. I read the letter. They sent it to Clements. I think Clements somehow got it to either Dooley, I don't know, someone over here. And then I got an email that night about the tryout date. And it wasn't asking to be on the team. I never asked anybody to just put me on the team. I just wanted an opportunity to try out. That's all I was asking for. And because of COVID made that hard, but finally got my opportunity, made the most of it. So.
What did it mean when Coach Swinney offered or said you had a spot?
It meant the world to me. It was something, first time in my life I threw everything I had into something. I mean, every single day worked at it. And I knew that the dream might not come to be just based off opportunity. And when he held me back, they were like, go say goodbye to Coach Swinney. They held me back, and I sat there and, just said thank you, like I always do, shake hands, say thank you. And when he told me, like, hey, man, like, pretty good tryout. And I was like, thank you. And he said, just want to let you know you made the team. And when I heard that, I didn't believe it. I asked him, like really? Like, is this real? Because it usually doesn't end. These type of stories don't end in that way, of the head coach telling you on the practice field right after the tryout that you made the team. Ask anybody their walk-on story. That is not how it ends, right? Like, it's usually an email. You go to the compliance guy. If you make the team, the coach doesn't meet you until he sees you on the scout team. But his care and how much he put into that was just unbelievable. I think I shed a few tears because it was just all that work to finally get something out of it, even though I knew that I didn't know, there was no guarantees. So it meant everything. I remember calling my parents, calling everybody about it. And it meant the world. And 5 years later, here I am. So it's a pretty cool story.
Phil, the snapping aspect is one thing. The tackling aspect, though, of it is another. 4 special teams tackles, I think, on the years? I think that's right.
Something like that.
Yeah, something like that. So, talk about that aspect. You're more than just a snapper. You're counted on to get downfield and make a tackle as well.
Yeah, it's it was an aspect I wanted to use to get on the field. I remember telling Coach Swinney when I first got here that I could be an impact there, and it's a lot of effort. I'm just trying to. I get maybe one play a game. At the most, I get 3. If we're having a bad game, I get 8, and people start booing me being out there. And so I want to make the most out of being out there. These guys are killing each other all game, working their butts off, and I get a few plays to try to make an impact. And I have Wade Woodhouse next to me, and Sammy Brown, and Tyler Venables, and Ashton, who have all been playing all game. And I'm like, all right, this is my play. You guys can block. I'll go give you a little bit of a break. And that's all I do. I just, work, give as much effort as I can to go make a play for this team, because it's the only way I can impact the team. And I want to make the most impact I can. And so that's really why, I try to go make a play. And usually they don't block me. And now the past 2 years, they've really blocked me. But I don't know, and nothing's really going to try to stop me. I want to make an impact for this team and this program. So that's kind of where the tackling comes to be, and just not that fast. I tell Jack to hang it up there, so I got time to get down there. So just a lot of effort and grit, because they're 100% more athletic than me. So we'll see.
Anybody else for Phil?
What's your favorite memory?
On the field?
Yeah.
I mean, favorite memory actually is weird. It's UConn in 2021. My first snap ever. And that was like where it was finally like I played in a game and I got to record something. And it meant the most to me. It was a simple extra point. No, we're up by 30. Nobody really is paying attention at this point. But to me, it was like the biggest play of my life. And to be able to go out there, it was like a video game. I remember lining up, seeing guys, crowds cheering. And to be able to go out there and execute. I remember looking at the stands with my parents. They got their phones out videotaping an extra point. People probably looking at them like they're crazy. So, yeah, that was probably one of the most cherished memories. Obviously, Notre Dame in 23. That's where I kind of peaked in life. It's all downhill from there. So, yeah.
Yes. Coach Swinney was saying again that he thinks maybe you could have a chance to do this professionally. I guess are you looking into that? Hopeful that that's a possibility.
Yeah, Coach Swinney's talked to me multiple times about it. He believes I have a chance, as well do I. It's hard for this position, just given that there's not many spots open, and you have to when you got a spot, you got to perform. But I have full confidence in myself that I can. I think that for the next spring, I'm going to give my all, and however long it takes to go do it. I mean, people told me I couldn't walk on at Clemson, and I bet you the odds of that happening were a lot lower than this. So I think I can make it happen, and I think with the support of Clemson, support of Coach Swinney, I can do my best to get in. If I get in, it could be a long career. But I understand that these next two games could be the last games of my career. Last time I put on a helmet, last time I put on the pads, and I'm okay with that because I believe I gave everything I had to Clemson, and I have no regrets. But if I'm able to play a lot longer, then I won't take it for granted. I won't be entitled to play football. You get to play football, and I'm excited for the journey ahead. It's going to be a lot of fun. I'm going to make an impact. I'm hoping that it happens, but I'm going to give everything I have to make sure it happens, and I'm confident that in my abilities to do it, and we'll see if there's any opportunity.
Can you describe the art, though, of snapping for extra points and field goals? Because that ball has to be delivered with the laces and it has to make so many rotations. I mean, there's a science to it all, right?
Yeah. When I first started this whole thing, I was probably a little arrogant athlete. I was like, I can go snap a football. And I remember when I was starting it, I was like, just threw the ball as hard as I could back there. The guy's going to catch it and put it down. If the kicker complains, he's a prima donna, you know what I mean? And it wasn't until I started playing here, and they're like, hey, the laces aren't good. I was like, what do you mean? Caught the ball down. It's good. Like, what? And they explained to me that you had to get the laces to fully turn by the time he catches it. So I kind of, with that idea, because early on I just thought, you throw the ball as fast as you can back there. They catch the ball. It doesn't take much to just kick it through the uprights. But I've learned the nuances of it and the skill it takes and the mental side about it. And it's a difficult thing to get really good at. But, I've worked at it really, really hard. Holden's worked at it really, really hard. And, we're both equally as good at it. And, it's however many rotations you spin the ball, it has to hit their hands so that the laces are up. And it takes a lot of reps, a lot of routine. And it was new to me when I started. I thought you just throw it as hard as you can, get it down, and life's good. So, I learned from it. So.
How many rotations?
3.5. Yeah, and the half one. And then you got to depend where the guy catches it, because if he catches an inch forward, the laces are down, you get yelled at. He catches a little inch back, the laces are up, you get Coach Swinney doesn't even notice because it's right, and we're supposed to be right. But it's just a funny little thing that you just have to learn to. You got to rep it, you got to learn it, you got to, do it 100 times right, and you just got to keep going with it. So, but that holder can really get you if you catch it a little late. So.
Do you have any feelings about, you play a position where you're only noticed if something bad happens?
Yeah.
You're taken for granted, right? The long snapper is pretty much just taken for granted.
Yeah. I mean, obviously, I get to play football. I mean, listen, I didn't dream as a little kid to be a long snapper. I thought I was going to be the next Joe Flacco because I was a Ravens fan. Just kidding. But no, I enjoy it. It's a vital part in my eyes, and it's an important part of the team. It's not very noticed. I hope I go unnoticed. I got noticed Friday, but we're going to move past it. And it's a way to impact the team. Listen, I could be a walk-on linebacker here that never sees the field, that just gets bullied in practice and has a cone that moves around. Or I can go make an impact. However little impact I can, and I've impacted games in many positive ways, and I take pride in it. It's a small impact, but I try to make the most of it, and I take a lot of pride in it. And I mean, listen, it's kind of a trade-off. We don't get much credit, but we don't have to practice as much as they do. So when they're out there during Tanoga Tuesday going full speed hitting drills, and I'm sitting on the sideline with a Gatorade, cheering them on, pretty thankful that I didn't have to do that. You know what I mean? When they run off the field trying to catch their breath, can't breathe, and I'm sitting there eating a granola bar because I was a little hungry. You know, it's a trade-off. And then they yell at you because you're not doing anything. You're like, hey, man, you signed up for it. I signed up for this. This is what we get. So it's a fun job. I take it really serious, and you got to have fun with it, though, because at the end of the day, I'm just a long snapper on the team, and they're the ones doing all the work. I'm just giving a little towel wave on the sideline. So
If it happened in a game, like all the centers went down with injuries, like, could they throw you in there and say,
I don't think Coach Luke would approve of it. I'll tell you what, there'd be a lot of effort and grit. Be a little outmatched, I'm guessing, if Peter Woods was on the other side or anybody like that. But maybe throw some chop blocks down there or just throw them a body around. I'll go make the most of it. I doubt we'll ever get to that point. But if it happened, sign me up. I'll strap my helmet on, go put a mouthpiece in for the first time and make it happen. So I don't know.
Do you ever go to coach to say, I want to score a touchdown? I mean, like all these other guys seem to go to coach throughout all these years. Hey, I'd like an opportunity to score a touchdown.
I tell them sometimes you could like fake it so that they could put me out wide on a punt or something like that. But I think I just got to count my blessings right now. I feel like the Wade and Barrett and Peter, and they can all ask for the touchdown. Now, listen, I'll say it right now. I'd love to get a touchdown. Put me on. I would be a lot of effort, or just let me lead block just to play an offensive snap. I'll give my all. I might not be running away from anybody, but I'll just put my head down and see. I'd love to get a touchdown, or put me out wide. I'll make something happen. But I think I just got to count my blessings right now and be thankful for the job I have. But Coach Swinney does to see this. I would love to get a touchdown. And I'm probably not going to play very much this game, hopefully. So if he wants to, let me play on my final senior day, just give me a little halfback toss or something. See what happens. Maybe he'll realize he made a mistake not putting me back there. So.
Anybody else for Flo? All right, Phil. Appreciate you, man.
Appreciate you guys.